Hey, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for your patience. We apologize for the delay. It's been a whirlwind morning and a few meetings, so we're waiting on a few technical difficulties to be resolved here at the clerk's desk, and we'll get started here in just a second.
How are you? I'm good.
Yeah. Okay. Come back for Donna, or for everything. We can go ahead and get started. All right. All right. Madam Clerk Nancy, how are you today? Good to see you in the driver's seat. I call this meeting to order. Welcome, everybody. And it is about 2:17. Madam Clerk.
Yes, sir.
Well, you know what? 2, 4. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're good. All right, let's proceed, Madam Clerk.
Yes, sir. Under our invocation portion of the agenda, we would ask our minister today, Dr. Michael Mitchell, who is the senior pastor of Restoration Ministries International Christian Fellowship, to give the invocation today, after which we will stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
Thank you.
Dr. Mitchell.
Dr. Mitchell. Welcome, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor Commission. Thank you all so much for this opportunity. My privilege to have my sons with me today, Micah and McKeever, future city leaders of Augusta. If you would, please all bow your heads. Father, we come together today to thank you. Thank you that as we gather together in this great chamber, we come to seek your face and ask your blessing upon our city, our commission, our mayor, and these city leaders today to build our agenda for today, to build for Augusta a better future. You said if my people would humble themselves and pray, that you would hear from heaven and you would heal our land. So today we gather to pray for your help, for your hand, for your heart, and for your healing of our land. Look favorably upon Augusta and bless us to reach the pinnacle of your purpose for this great city. May you go ahead of us and go ahead of them and prepare the way so that they can lead and guide and direct us as we embark upon a new journey to elevate our city to new arenas of exploration, expansion, advancement, procurement, and productivity. May you infuse into their hearts and minds the spirit of wisdom and of knowledge and of understanding that will provide a foundation for a plethora of ideas, concepts, and plans that will catapult this city to be a model city worthy to be emulated for others, for life, for family, for business, and for culture. So as Jesus prayed for unity today, Father, we pray for unity. Let our cities, its great leaders, be a city where we will be one. Let us have one purpose, one mission, one vision, one hope, work together as we truly propel Augusta to new heights in Jesus' name. So we command your blessing today upon your people. And like you told Moses to bless the people of Israel, today we bless Augusta. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord guard you and guide you. May the Lord cause his face to shine upon you. And may God cause everything you set your hands to do to prosper. So, Father, we thank you now that we press and leave everything else behind, and we press toward tomorrow to fulfill the tasks that bring a greater tomorrow. So in the name of Jesus Christ, we decree blessing and favor on our great cities, its leader, in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dr. Mitchell. If you would come forward, please, we have a presentation to make to you. Bodies present, be it known that Dr. Michael Mitchell, Senior Pastor, Restoration Ministries International Christian Fellowship, is chaplain of the day. May his spiritual guidance and civic leadership serve as an example for all citizens of Augusta. Thank you again so much.
Dr. Mitchell, thank you so much for being here, sir. Thank you for also bringing your son and all that you do for this great city. Thank you so much, sir. Much appreciated. All right, Madam Clerk, let's continue.
Yes, sir. Our first item is the recognition for the 2024 April Years of Service, 25 to 50-year recipients. Ms. Rickard?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Good afternoon, Mayor and citizens of Augusta. Today, we are going to recognize our April Years of Service recipients. For the month of April 2024, we have 18 employees celebrating their 5 to 50 years of service with Augusta. This afternoon, we're going to recognize our 25 to 50 years of service recipients. For the month of April, the total institutional knowledge and service is 225 years of service. So, yes, congratulations. So when I call your name, please come forward. Miss Mary Gosher, tax assessor, 35 years. Jerry Capel with the fire department, 35 years. Mr. Capel had to serve today, so Deputy Chief Beasley is going to accept it on his behalf. Again, congratulations to our recipients.
Again, thank all those who continue to serve this city. 35 years, and the institutional knowledge is, it's amazing that for us to do what we do on behalf of this great city. Also, I want to take upon our personal privilege, Madam Clerk, to acknowledge Director of the Finance Department, Ms. Donna Williams, received a letter from the Government Finance Officers Association that states, "We are pleased to notify you that your annual comprehensive financial report for the fiscal year ended December 31st, 2022 qualifies for GFOA's Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting." So to our Finance Director and her department, thank you guys for all the great work. You got some employees here, you guys stand up for it. Let's recognize you guys. Come on here. Thank you guys for all that you do, and just know that it is appreciated. Thank you so much. Director Williams, thank you. Madam Clerk?
Yes, sir.
Let's continue.
Our next item is our first delegation, Ms. Tamara Santos, relative to Best Friends Animal Society proposal.
Welcome, Ms. Santos. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Augusta-Richmond County Commission meeting. If you don't mind, for the record, please state your name and address.
Yes, Tamara Santos, 1020 Mackenzie Street, North Augusta, South Carolina.
Thank you, ma'am. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you. With limited time to speak to you today, I'll focus on the concerns with the proposal that has been put forth by Best Friends Animal Society in an effort to assume management of Augusta Animal Services. Though there are a plethora of concerns with the proposal submitted by Best Friends, the imminent risk to public safety is by far the strongest. Best Friends recommends that formal behavior assessments no longer be performed on the dogs at the shelter, but that the assessments of a dog's temperament be based on shelter staff's observations. As someone who is in the shelter daily, I see the immense workload carried by the staff. They work expeditiously, often understaffed, to feed the dogs, clean and sanitize the kennels before the doors open to the public at noon. How much time does this leave staff to genuinely observe a dog and make an accurate assessment of the dog's temperament? Best Friends is also recommending that dogs be spayed and neutered the day their stray hold is up and immediately be made available for adoption. This sounds wonderful in theory, but again, how much time does this allow for a genuine behavioral observation? Though not stated in their proposal, another practice of Best Friends is that staff is not permitted to disclose a dog's history of or propensity for aggression to volunteers or potential adopters. This policy is a recipe for disaster. Proof of the danger of this type of policy can be seen in the multiple lawsuits that have been filed against Best Friends Animal Society and against the various cities and counties that had shelters being managed by Best Friends. At least 7 lawsuits were filed in Los Angeles County and Best Friends Animal Society against Los Angeles County and Best Friends Animal Society between 2016 and 2019 as a result of dog attacks. The county paid out over $12 million in lawsuits. In May of 23, a jury ordered Los Angeles County to pay Kelly Kaneko $6.8 million after her arm was nearly torn off by a German Shepherd at the shelter. The dog had no warnings on his kennel despite having a history of aggression. In 2016, a lawsuit was brought by the family of a 13-year-old girl whose face was viciously maimed by a dog they adopted from a Los Angeles shelter under the management of Best Friends. This dog had a known history of vicious behavior that was never disclosed to the family when they adopted him. That lawsuit was settled in 2020 for an undisclosed amount of money. In 2021, Eve Kasarick, a Best Friends volunteer, was viciously attacked at a Los Angeles shelter by a pit bull named Henry, who had been returned to the shelter multiple times for vicious behavior. The lawsuit stated that Best Friends withheld such information from Eve, as well as other volunteers, employees, staff members, and failed to warn them of the history of attacks by Henry. These volunteers and employees were walking into a potentially deadly situation every time they entered his kennel. There's presently a lawsuit pending. I previously submitted a packet for your review of active and settled lawsuits against Best Friends Animal Society and against the cities or counties where Best Friends is managing shelters. I ask that you consider if the $1 million in resources being offered by Best Friends is worth the risk of paying out millions of dollars in lawsuits. A second concerning policy Best Friends would like to institute at Augusta Animal Services is what they refer to as community sheltering. This policy would force staff to turn away stray intakes, telling the finders that they should take the dog home and keep it for the legal stray hold. At the end of the stray hold, they can keep the dog, give it away, or bring it back to the shelter. This policy is not just reckless, it is dangerous. Dogs that are found on the street come with uncertain history. Good Samaritans who pick a dog up on the street because they don't want to see it get hit by a car or die from hunger should not be asked to take a stray animal with no idea of its temperament or health into their private home to do what should be done at a municipal shelter. By doing so, they are being asked to put the safety of their family and the health and safety of their personal pets in jeopardy. Again, leaving the county vulnerable to lawsuits when one of these animals brings a potentially deadly disease like parvo into the home or exposes the family to a potential attack by a stray dog. I would like to add that while Best Friends' observational report downplayed the impact of local rescues and transport programs, the contributions of several local rescues should not go unnoticed. From January 1st of 23 to January 1st of 24, a total of 1,270 dogs and cats were pulled from Augusta Animal Services and placed with local rescues or sent to states in the Northeast through the transport program. Best Friends states in their report that transport programs are not a sustainable long-term solution, which is a direct contradiction to the multiple articles they have published on their very own website touting the benefits of transport programs.
30 seconds.
Yes, sir. In closing, I ask that the commissioners take a serious pause when considering this proposal. Please perform due diligence in researching this organization's, the policies they would like to put in place at Augusta Animal Services, the potential harm it could cause in the community, and the legal liability it leaves the county open to, which will inevitably fall upon taxpayers. I'm also joined today by several people from the local Augusta area rescue community. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right. I want to make sure I recognize your group. You guys stand up. A show of hands. Hey, Ms. Santos, don't go anywhere. I have someone in the queue that wants to address you. Thank you, ladies for being here. Chair recognizes Commissioner from the 7th, Commissioner Sean Franham.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was abreast of the same concerns as you just mentioned the last few days. My question is the director here? Is Director Hill here?
I believe he's outside.
Yes, he is here.
All right, we're gonna get him inside. All right, Director Hill.
The questions are for him, so I mean, you can have a seat, or I don't know, there might be other questions, but I'm going to ask him the questions.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Santos.
Thank you.
Have a seat. Thank you. The Director?
Good afternoon.
Director Hill, can you give me, did you just hear everything was said?
Yes.
Okay. Can you give me your thoughts on what was just said?
My thoughts are that I agree.
Okay.
I agree with everything that she said.
Okay. And can you tell me where we stand with the program as far as where is it at?
The program as far as
the
meeting with, well,
Yeah.
we have a scheduled meeting with them this Friday.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, I think, again, we are represented by the people. I wouldn't be in favor of bringing this program on, just based on what I've heard and some of the factual information that I received. So I'm just one commissioner, but that's just kind of where I stand. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Franham. Madam Administrator, you're in the queue.
I am. Thank you, Mayor Johnson. Commissioners, during the last committee meeting, it was directed to the administrator to meet with Best Friends. And as Director Hill just stated, we will not be meeting with them until Friday, which is past the agenda deadline. So I'm requesting that that agenda item comes back to this body during the committee meeting on June 11th.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Madam. All right, Madam Clerk, let's move on. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Item C is Ms. Karen Brown requesting an increase in funding for the 7th Annual Sand Hills Community Center Summer Program.
Thank you so much. Ladies with the Best Friends Animal, thank y'all so much for being here, okay? Appreciate y'all.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners.
Good afternoon, Mr. Brown. If you
My
will.
name is Keith Brown. I actually am here with my older sister, Karen Brown, in support of the Sand Hills Summer Youth Program. It's a free program that we partnered with the City of Augusta in the past, and we are not looking for additional funding at this time. We would just like to let you know about some of our successes.
All right. Well, before you do that, Mr. Brown, since you come on the record, I need your address, and then I'm going to ask your sister to do the same, please.
My address is 1144 Druid Park Avenue, Augusta, Georgia, 30901.
Thank you so much, Ms. Brown. If you would do the same.
Yes, good afternoon. My address is 4901 Warnell Road, apartment 1206 in Kansas City, Missouri, 64112.
Thank you so much, ma'am. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I really am just wanting to talk with you and share some of the great successes that we've had with our program. This is our 7th year that we're going to do this summer at the Sand Hills Community Center. This program is an arts-based, multidisciplinary enrichment experience designed for children ages 10 to 14 years old from the surrounding neighborhoods. A. Bryan Mary, Tutt, and Langford Middle Schools, and 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students who attend Elam Baptist, Mount Canaan Baptist, Cumming Grove Baptist, and Rock Ages churches. In 2024, the program is scheduled for 2 weeks from June 3rd through June 14th. The first week is from Monday, June 3rd to Friday, June 7th, and the second week is June 10th through June 14th. We operate from 1 to 7 p.m. Our mission statement or purpose is developing the next generation of citizens for our community with a compelling curriculum designed to build self-esteem, inform, and educate. So we hook them with the arts, and then we get them inside and we teach them how to be good citizens for Augusta. The curriculum is structured around principles inherent in the movie Black Panther and will focus on 4 main areas: dance, music appreciation, writing careers, and nutrition. Lessons will address time management, goal setting, public speaking, health and wellness. And one of the questions that we ask our students every day is, what have you done today to show your parents how much you appreciate all that they have done for you? Our curriculum, activities, nourishing and empowering youth and future citizens. There's daily motivation and personal development. Dance instruction, which includes hip-hop, modern, and choreography. Training for athletes by one of the winningest coaches in Augusta. Visual art instruction by Augusta's own Baruti. Public speaking. We interview neighborhood pioneers in our neighborhood, which is an outdoor gathering area, and our students go there, interview. We divide them into groups of 3, one that serves the person their lunch, one that is a scribe, and one that interviews them. And at the end of our culminating event, one of those people is chosen to come and be featured as our newest neighbor. Our past field trips have included the Laney Museum, the Savannah River Keepers, Wallace Farms, which is Black-owned, and the Old Tree. The Sandhills Community Center Summer Youth Program is a cell phone-free zone. Participants are allowed to use their cell phones during the 30-minute lunch break, and all supplies are provided, as well as lunch and snacks. The program uniform is black bottoms and a Sandhills Community t-shirt, which we wash and return to them every day. The level-appropriate training in visual arts, dance, vocal instruction, and financial literacy will be given to each participant, and each child will have an opportunity to accumulate points for participation and creativity. Age-appropriate awards are given at the culminating event each week, and grand prizes will be awarded during the final event. I'd like to tell you about some of our instructors who are all professional, and many of them are nationally known, but live right here in Augusta. So the first there is myself, Karen Brown. I'm a native of Augusta. I have a professional career with the Dance Theater of Harlem for 22 years in New York City, and I was also the artistic director of the Oakland Ballet for the city of Oakland, California. Baruti Tucker teaches arts at C.H. Terrell Academy and Jesse Norman School of the Arts, as well as offering private art classes. Russell Joel Brown, our youngest brother and an Augusta native, is a veteran actor, singer, and dancer of the Broadway stage. He appeared on Broadway and international tours of Disney's The Lion King, Smokey Joe's Cafe, Scarlet Pimpernel, and on and on. Fumi Harmon, who lives in Atlanta, comes to teach. She's a 2-time Grammy-nominated educator, international recording artist, and community leader. 1 minute. Sister Selah has also worked with us. Wycliffe Gordon, renowned musician, composer, conductor, and arranger. C. Keith Brown, former commissioner. A. Nicholas Brown, for financial literacy. He's a retired IRS agent. And we have a representative from the police department to talk with students about how to stay safe.
So, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we are here today to thank you for your support in the past. We look for your support in the future, and we hope that you will come out and see what we are doing, and we are looking for any in-kind services that you may be able to offer us. Additional manpower, hands-on, is what our request is today.
Thank you so much, Mr. and Ms. Brown. Your footprint on this community is everywhere, so thank you guys so much. Can you just give us the program dates when that camp starts, so we'll have them?
It begins June 3rd through 7th. That's a Monday through Friday from 1 to 7 p.m. And June 10th through 14th. Again, Monday through Friday, 1 to 7 p.m.
All right, is there any age, what's the age range?
10 to 14, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders.
6th, 7th, and 8th grade. All right, Chair recognizes.
Everything is free.
Everything is free.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Commissioner Franham.
And thank you all for the program that y'all are offering. I just have 2 questions. How many kids are in each program?
Many of the children, when they come for the first week, they'll stay for the second, but we've done anywhere from 40 to 80 kids every year.
40 to 80 kids. Okay, and how much, what kind of funding have we done in the past with you, for you?
When we started out, what was it, 15? 20,000. And now we're at 20,000 is the line item in the Parks and Rec budget.
20,000. Okay. And my question is for the, I guess the administrator, maybe finance. Each year that these organizations that we give money to, do they have to show expense reports and financial records of what they spend the money on?
Yes.
Through a non-governmental organization, yes, they do.
So you see physically where they paid X company, X speaker, all of that? Or do you just see?
I can't speak for this particular entity because their funds go directly through the Parks and Recreation budget. But for most NGOs, they would have to submit annual reports.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
All right, Madam, you,
Submit an annual report?
Yes,
Okay.
we do.
all right.
And is it that to that level of detail?
It's much more. We have all of our contracts, all of our expenses, every penny has to be accounted for. And we have contracts, and all of our adults that work with children have to have a background check. So we make sure that all of that is done. Thank you so much, everyone.
All right, just one more question.
Yes,
Chair
sir.
recognizes Commissioner Brandon Garrett from the A.
Thank you, Mayor. So in reference to this camp, is this fully funded through city funds, or are there additional funds that are used for this?
There are additional funds.
And where does that come from?
From my organization, On Point Plus Dance Mastery Institute, we have ZZ Vest, and one of our choreographers also contributes.
Thanks.
And Commissioner, we've also had contributions from the local churches.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you again for what you do for the community. Tell your brother we said hello, and keep up the great work. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right. Madam Clerk, I think that takes us to the consent portion of our agenda.
Yes, sir. Our consent agenda consists of items 1 through 22. And under the planning portion of the agenda, I'll read the planning petitions. And if anyone has any objection to those as I go along, would you please signify your objection by raising your hand? Item 2 is a request for concurrence with the Planning Commission to approve a petition requesting a rezoning from R1C, one-family residential, to R3A, multiple family residential, affecting properties located at 1241, 1243, 1245, 1249, 1251, and 1257 12th Street. Are there any objections to this petition?
Are there any objectors? Seeing none, let's continue.
Yes, sir. Item 3 is a request for concurrence with the Augusta Planning Commission to approve a petition requesting a rezoning from Zone R1, one-family residential, and B1, neighborhood business, to Zone B2, general business, affecting property located at 3202 Washington Road. And also with this petition, Ms. Delaney with the Planning and Development Department has requested to clarify one of the conditions on this particular petition.
Director Delaney.
Good afternoon. On this particular application for the 3202 Washington Road property, condition number 2 requires a set undisturbed buffer. There's a minimum 50-foot undisturbed buffer that shall be provided along the property line adjacent to the residentially zoned districts and residential uses, and a 30-foot landscape buffer along the western property line adjacent to the residential zoned in use. For this particular segment, what we want to do is make sure that we capture it in a way that anyone reading it could understand that once the pool portion stops, that the buffer doesn't have to go all the way to Washington Road. So that's the goal with this. So the cleanup of that statement, in essence, would be the 30-foot undisturbed landscape buffer along the western property line shall extend for the portion of the property immediately adjacent to the pool in the residentially zoned area.
Any questions, colleagues, regarding that? Seeing none. All right. Let me see if we have any objectors.
Are there any objectors to this petition?
There is one objector. Oh, well, he's the petitioner? Is this are you the petitioner?
I'm the petitioner, but I wanted to clarify
All right, come on. If you don't mind,
the petition a little bit more,
please.
if I could.
For the record, please state your name and address. Sir.
My name is Frank Pittman. I'm with Pittman and Greer Engineering at 1050 Barber Creek Drive in Watkinsville, Georgia.
Okay.
We've had conversation back and forth with planning and zoning. The condition that she just mentioned, when this was written to go to planning commission, it was written as a landscape buffer, not an undisturbed buffer. So I guess I wanted to clarify that because it's still listed as an undisturbed, but the condition was written to be a landscape buffer, which is not the same thing.
All right.
So we would prefer it to be a landscape buffer. That way we can clean up the landscape and then plant some nice new stuff instead of just being a bunch of old pines.
Thank you. Director Delaney, is that acceptable?
The main thing is making sure that we can accomplish the density required for that screening component, because this area is residential, is single-family detached. We want to make sure that the individuals that reside immediately adjacent to this parcel are properly screened. So we didn't ask for a masonry wall or anything like that would typically go there, because they said they would provide this buffer. So I don't want there to be an adverse impact on those people. So that's hence the undisturbed buffer for the portion, the southern portion that's immediately adjacent. So for the 50.
So undisturbed means undisturbed.
Undisturbed means you can go in and you can clean out the underbrush, but you can't cut anything down. You can plant some more trees along it adjacently, but we don't want them to go in there and clear cut that. We don't want them to go in there and take out what some people define as scrub trees based on the caliper, because then you'll start thinning. So we want to make sure where those homes that are immediately adjacent, that they maintain that proper screening.
All right, sir. Is it your intent to? You weren't planning on clear cutting the property?
No, our intent was never to clear cut. Our intent,
Just come a little closer
what
to
those
me.
woods are is a bunch of old pine trees. And our intent was to clear some of it on our side of that buffer, just to clean it up and plant some nicer evergreen trees that I think would provide a better buffer than just a bunch of old pine trees. Because that's pretty much all that's in that 50-foot now is just old pine trees that I don't think is really a good buffer anyway. We can live with it undisturbed. I just think it's a better product if we could clean it up a little bit, at least on our side, our portion of that, not all the way through, obviously.
We're probably err on the side of our director. I'm going to get to some colleagues there in the queue here, so just sit tight. Commissioner from the 5th, you had a question regarding this matter?
No, consent agenda, so whatever questions you
Okay.
have, just jump in.
All right. You good?
In regards
Commissioner
to
Garrett?
this change for this item, Mayor, is this what was agreed to at the Planning Commission meeting?
When we went back and listened to the audio recording, because we did go back and listen to it, we said that the planning and development staff would be amenable to rewording our condition to allow for that 30-foot setback along the western property line.
So nothing about,
buffer yard.
So nothing about the undisturbed part?
I can't be sure. We did listen, and I have it in an email, so let me pull it up real quick, because I did know this was going to happen right here. But I can pull it up. It won't take me but a moment.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original recommendation, the written recommendation at Planning Commission was for a landscape.
We're going to pull it.
We're going to pull it. We're going to pull it. We're just going to pull it, Madam Clerk. Is that all
Yes,
right?
sir.
Okay. Let's move on to the next time, Mayor.
All right. Item,
Well, we need to see, are there any objectors? We didn't ask.
Right.
There's none. All right, let's go. Let's move on.
okay, the next planning item is a request for concurrence with the Planning Commission to deny a petition requesting a special exception to establish a liquor store affecting property located at 2059 Central Avenue. Are there any objectors to this petition?
Any objectors? Seeing none, let's continue.
Item 5 is a request for concurrence with the Planning Commission.
Wait a minute. So you objecting to the denial of this petition? All right, there's, raise your hands. There's 2 objectors. Don't come forward. We didn't know you. So it's 2 objectors, Madam Clerk, to
Yes, sir.
item 5.
Okay, item 5 is concurrence with the Planning Commission to approve a petition for a special exception to reinstate special exception Z-20-34 to develop single-family lots not to exceed a density of 3 units per acre, affecting properties located at 4477B Windsor Spring Road and 2551 Willis Foreman Road. Are there any objectors to this petition?
Any objectors? Seeing none, let's continue.
Yes, sir.
That's not there. There's no number 4. All right,
Item
just have a seat.
6 is a petition for a special exception to establish a family personal care home affecting property located at 3013 Story Drive. Are there any objectors to this petition?
Any objectors to Story Drive? Seeing none, let's continue.
All right. Under the public services portion of our agenda, we have one alcohol license. It's to approve AN 24-25, existing location, new ownership, Spencer Sasco for BJS Augusta, requesting liquor, beer, and wine consumption on premises license located at 813 Broad Street. Are there any objectors to this alcohol petition?
Any objectors? Seeing none, let's continue.
All right. And
That's
that's our consent agenda.
All right, all right. Colleagues in the queue, Chair recognizes. Thank you for patiently waiting. Commissioner from the 5th, Commissioner Bobby Williams.
Yes, sir. I spoke with Dr. Malik, and if you don't have any objections, number 24, he wanted to do that on the 28th. He told me he spoke with somebody, and he wanted to do that on the 28th, if that's amenable for people.
No.
28th, or do y'all want to do it? I don't see Dr. Malik
Is that
anyway.
the next committee meeting?
Well, I've actually talked to Dr. Malik earlier, and we have a different solution. So I would just say leave it on the agenda.
Okay.
And let's discuss it.
Let's discuss it. All right.
Okay, but he's not here.
He's here, but we talked to him a little bit earlier.
All right. So 24 stays.
No, I'm going to. It may end up going to committee, but I want to discuss something there first.
All right. You got it. All right.
All right.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Commissioner Brandon Garrett.
Yes. This is in reference to the folks that stood up in the back for item number 4. Are you the petitioners or are you objectors to the petition?
Are you the owners of this store?
So are y'all objecting to the denial? Okay. Legal, do we need to pull this item since they're, the item is for a denial,
Yeah.
but do we need to hear them because, okay. Okay, so,
All right.
so item number 4.
It's pulled. There's 2. All right. All right. Commissioner Alvin Mason from the 4th, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to, item 18, I've got some questions on item 8. Well, it's really some extensive questions. I don't know if there's a will to send back to committee, or I would ask that first, but if not, I've got some extensive.
Is there any objection to sending item 18 back to committee? Any objection?
Is there any objection just having a conversation on the floor?
If so, we'll pull it.
I'm fine either way, but floor conversation, committee.
If we could.
Committee, sir.
Going back to committee. Any objection? Send no objection. Madam Clerk, 18 is going back to committee.
Back to committee.
Back to committee. All right. 18. All right. Chair recognizes you, Commissioner Commissioner Mason. You good?
I'm inclined to agree with Commissioner Williams on 24. I did have a discussion, but you say the 28th?
He said the 28th. He said he had talked with some of you guys.
He did.
You all agreed on the 28th, so I said 28th is fine with me.
All right, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
I'll remove my request, and we'll go with Commissioner Williams
All right,
to
sir.
put item number 24 on the 28th.
All right, Madam Clerk, we're going to remove item number 24 and move it to the 28th.
28th.
Yes, ma'am. All right. 28th. All right, Chair recognizes Commissioner from the 10th, Commissioner Wayne Guilfoyle.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Let me pull agenda item number 3 so we could.
It's already pulled.
Okay. And let me pull agenda item number 11. And do we have the Central Service Intern Director here?
Central Services, Ron, Director Lampkin here? I don't know if he's here, sir, unless he's outside. There's assistant. If he's not here, do you still want to? All right, so we're going to pull number 11, Madam Clerk.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, colleagues, is that all our business before we sum up here?
Motion to approve, pulling 3, 4, and 11.
All right, I have a motion from the Commissioner Franum and second from Commissioner McKnight. Seeing no.
24 back to committee.
All right, 1824 back to the committee. All right, Madam Clerk, we're voting.
Yes, sir.
Roll call vote. Are we working? Systems up? System?
Roll call vote. Roll call vote. The system's up.
I'm sorry, systems up.
That motion carries 9-0 with Ms. Scott out.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Let's go top to bottom, start.
Yes, sir.
You're going to do 4 first, all right?
Item 3.
Yeah, we're going to go to 4 first.
4 first.
Per request.
Item 4 is a request for concurrence with the Augusta Planning Commission to deny a petition by N.K. Patel, LLC, requesting a special exception per Section 21-2C of the Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance to establish a liquor store affecting property containing approximately .52 acres located at 2059 Central Avenue.
All right, Director Delaney.
All right, good afternoon again. So in regards to this particular application, the petitioner was requesting to allow for a liquor store at the current location. One of the things that we look at is a set of criteria that is set forth by the Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance for the B1 neighborhood business designation, and there's a couple criteria that you have to meet in order to have a recommendation for the special exception to be approved. In this case, the applicant was unsuccessful in meeting several of the 3 criteria. Those 3 criteria are on page 47 in your packet. They are non-compliant with the provision wherein the north of the property located along Hurd Avenue and Hurd Lane is zone R1C, which is our family and residential zoning. We ask, per the ordinance, we require that predominantly residential zonings are not immediately adjacent to alcohol stores, liquor stores, things like that. The other second criteria is the property is at the intersection of 2 arterial streets or within 500 feet of such an intersection. They were non-compliant with this portion of the criteria also. And then last but not least, the property is not within 1,000 feet of a public park or recreation area. This is one area where they were compliant. So they failed to meet 2 of the 3 criteria for a positive recommendation from the Planning Commission.
All right. Thank you, Director Lane. Guys, come on up. Probably right here. Thank you. All right, who's speaking for the group, if you will?
Me.
Name and address, please.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Paul Patel, 2059 Central Avenue.
All right, sir. All right. Is that your business address or your home address?
Business address.
I need your home address, please.
1222 Ursula Point.
Where? What city?
Martinez.
Martinez. All right. Are you going to be speaking as well, sir?
Yes.
Are you going to be speaking? So I need the same for you. Are you going to be speaking?
We both, but this is my brother.
Okay, all right. Well, come on. You have the floor, sir.
Kishan Darji, 3513 Jamaica Drive, Augusta, Georgia.
Thank you. All right. The floor is yours.
So according to the,
If you're going to speak, come to the mic for me. Okay.
so according to the RC1, she was saying about the arterial street. I don't think that's a main arterial street because it's not, say, heavily dense population or anything like that, where there's a lot of traffic coming in and out.
Is it defined as an arterial street according to the city of Augusta?
That I have not checked.
You have not checked. Do you have any legal counsel, legal advice?
I do not.
You do not. Okay.
So we're basically doing the liquor store as because we have the support for the neighborhood since the Somerville Ace has been sold out. And a lot of the neighborhood are saying that it'd be better for us to do it because we've been there for a longer time.
When you say you've been there for a longer time, you mean your existing business?
Yes.
Your existing business? Okay.
Yes.
All right. All right. Is there anything else you want to add?
And we do have, so we've got a bunch of names, addresses, and phone numbers for the petition.
Okay. Did anybody come here with you today? Did anyone accompany you here?
There is one.
All right. So you live in the neighborhood?
Yes, sir. Live right on the street.
All right. Okay. Director Delaney?
The Planning Commission took their time in reviewing this particular application and making their recommendation, and it is rooted in the comprehensive zoning ordinance with regards to the consistency of the requirements for a special exception. The convenience store already exists within this zoning with a special exception. This will be a double special exception. The Planning Commission was not favorable and was not recommending that this be approved at this time using the criteria set forth in the comprehensive zoning ordinance.
All right. Thank you, Director Delaney. Chair recognizes Commissioner Catherine Smith-McKnight.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was at that meeting with Planning and Zoning, and there were a few in the audience who did, a resident, maybe two of them, that spoke out against this. Let me ask, is Somerville Ace going out of business, or is it that they've been bought out, but they're still going to remain there?
It's still going to remain there.
Okay, that's about half a mile from where y'all are.
I guess, yes.
Okay, and then you got about 2 miles down the road on the other side, I think, near Olive Road, another liquor store.
Yes, yes.
Then you got another one up on Wrightsboro Road, about 3.5 miles from you.
I guess, yes.
Okay, the residents that have spoken out, they should be, I mean, I don't know why they're not here, but there's a lot of liquor stores right in the area, and I have to agree with the Planning and Zoning commissioners that all objected to this. So I think there's too many liquor stores right around there, and you got a school not too far. So anyway,
all right.
Wish you luck.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Commissioner McKnight. All right, Madam Clerk. I think we're prepared to vote on this. I don't see anyone else in the queue, okay?
Need a motion.
Motion to deny.
All right.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Seeing no colleagues in the queue, Madam Clerk, we're voting. The motion is to deny.
Yes, sir. That motion carries 8-1 with
Yes.
Mr. Johnson voting no.
If I could, just for a point of clarity, because I would just want to make sure that we're
Yes,
doing
sir.
what we need to do here,
You
and
have
maybe
the
legal
floor.
can chime in. I heard him say motion to deny. Well, the agenda item said be in concurrence with the denial. So if we're saying motion to deny, that means we're denying the denial. But we're in concurrence, we want to be in concurrence with the denial. So it really should have been an approval or approve the denial. So can we have a,
I should have said motion to concur in the denial.
right, so motion to reconsider.
All right. There is a motion and a second for reconsideration. We're voting, Madam Clerk.
Yeah.
That carries unanimously. Ms. Scott out.
Thank you so much. Gentlemen, thank you for being here.
Well, not so fast.
All right.
Now we need to do the right
Let's do
motion.
the right motion. All right. Commissioner?
Did you want, oh, no, I'll go ahead and do that. Motion is to approve the denial and be in concurrence with the planning and zoning.
All right. That's a better language.
Second.
All right. And this second from Commissioner Sean Franham. Commissioner from the 4th, you still in the queue. We're voting. All right. Madam Clerk, now we're voting.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Guilfoyle?
That motion carries 9-0.
All right, guys.
Scott
Now,
out.
thank you for being here. All right. Thank you. All right, Madam Clerk, I think we need to move back to number 3, right?
Number 3 is a request for concurrence with the Augusta Planning Commission to approve a petition by Frank Pittman on behalf of Carolyn B. Gardner Estate, requesting a rezoning from Zone R1, one-family residential, and B1, neighborhood business, to Zone B2, general business, affecting property located at 3202 Washington Road.
All right, Director Delaney.
All right. Continuation from the consent agenda discussion on this particular application. The representative and I have gotten together and spoken about this, and we would like to depart from the recommendation of the Planning Commission and created a new one for item number 2, just for item number 2 of the recommendations. That departure would read as such.
No, she's talking about number 2 for
Number 2 within the
special
recommendations, the list
yeah.
of conditions
Right.
in the recommendation. So we would like to amend that. This is not going to be representative of what the Planning Commission said. This is something we just talked about, if that's okay. All right, so we would now like to recommend that there be a 50-foot well-planted landscape buffer along the southern property line and a 30-foot landscape buffer along the western property line for the portion adjacent to the pool and/or residential uses, with the approval of the landscape plan by the Planning and Development Director for the buffer.
Motion to approve.
All right, so there's a motion. Is there a second? There is a second. All right,
I do have a
Commissioner.
question.
All right, Commissioner Mason, you have the floor, sir.
Yes. I just want to know how are we defining a well-planted?
So we have a rubric in which we use to determine how a buffer should be planted. And because what we'll do is we'll be able to do what is called like a tree survey. We'll go out there and see how many trees in the caliper in inches of those diameter at breast height for each tree. And that will determine our replacement value for those trees in that section. That is something that typically can be submitted at the site plan, during the site plan process. And that will determine what gets replanted and how many, the quantity and everything of that nature.
Okay, and that's something that would, okay, I'm good. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Good, Commissioner? All right, Madam Clerk, we have a motion and a second.
Yes, sir.
Let's vote.
That's good, right? That's all you do? All right.
All right.
That motion carries 9-0. Ms. Scott out.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Let's go to number 11.
Item 11 is a motion to approve a change order of purchase order 21 REC 033 to provide professional services related to furniture at the Henry Brigham Community Center in the total amount of $153,473.16. Johnson, Lashover and Associates, PC.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Guilfoyle, you have the floor. You asked this item be pulled.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Jackson, I guess you filling in for Mr. Lampkin?
Yes, sir. He's in Athens today.
Great. Thank you for being up there and ready to answer questions. Normally, when we select furniture or playground equipment, we normally procure it through the city. No different than this building, ATT building, the sheriff's office, it's such as that, projects. How come we going through JLA at the additional cost of $30,000 above the cost of the product, instead of going through our own procure system, looking at the statewide contracts, or they did not have it available on that?
Well, I'll give you some context. That question did come up, but we did consult with procurement prior to going through this route, and we were given permission by procurement to go through JLA to secure this furniture.
Okay. Again, why didn't, maybe Ms. Hams could answer this for me. I appreciate her giving you permission to go through JLA.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
State your question again, please, Commissioner.
When we procure products, whether it's furniture or playground equipment, we're able to do that in-house. This here is showing that we went through a contractor, architect firm, at additional costs of right at $30,000. My question is, why did we not do it in-house and save the money?
Well, this was done, sometimes we do things for time purposes, and this was such thing. That initially was a part of JLA's contract. We just chose to exercise due to the time element.
Okay. Sir, I don't know who you are. Can you tell me your position, please?
Darrell White, Deputy Director, Procurement.
Thank you, Mr. Darrell. It's a pleasure meeting you. All right, motion to approve.
All right, this motion, is there a second? Second. There's a second from Commissioner from the 5th. Seeing no colleagues in the queue, Madam Clerk, we're voting.
Yes, sir. That motion carries 6-3 with Ms. McKnight, Mr. Franham, and Mr. Garrett voting no. Everyone else voting yes. Ms. Scott out.
All right, thank you, Madam Clerk. Let's move on. Let's move on to number 23, please.
23 is a...
Come on. We moved on. We moved on. Let's move on. Let's go. We're moving on. Let's move on. All right, Madam Clerk, let's move. Let's go.
Item 23.
Let's move on.
23 is a motion to approve AN 2424, new location, Citivus manual for outside, requesting liquor, beer, and wine consumption on premises license located at 1201 Green Street.
Hey, sir.
Good afternoon. Brian Kepner, Deputy Director of Planning and Licensing Divisions. As stated, this is AN 24-24. This is a new location requesting a liquor, beer, and wine consumption on premises by Citivus Manuel, located at 1201 Green Street. Planning and Development Department and Sheriff's Office have recommended approval. Are there any objectors?
Any objectors here for this matter? Seeing none.
And the applicant is here.
All right. Yep. Can I get your name and address, ma'am?
Sedaris Manuel, 17th Street, number 1403, Augusta, Georgia, 30901.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right. There's a motion to approve and a second, Madam Clerk. Seeing no colleagues in the queue, we're voting.
Yes.
You're waiting. 3 and 5. Oh, she stepped out. All right. All right.
That motion carries 9-0. Ms. Scott out.
Thank you so much. All right. Thank you, ma'am. Have a good day. All right. Nope. We got a couple. Well, 24. We're in 25. We got 25.
Item 25 is a motion to approve holding the SPLOST 9 Infrastructure and Facilities Work Session on June 20th, 2024, and the fiscal year 25 budget retreat on June 26, 2024, and allow the interim administrator to present some additional dates for the budget retreat.
All right.
Motion to approve.
Madam Administrator is in the queue first. Madam Administrator.
Thank you, Mayor Johnson. I contacted each of you, and we have the majority of you that are able to be present on June 17th from 9 to 4 at the Henry Brigham Community Center for our budget retreat. So I would like for that date to be considered for approval at this time.
All right, Commissioner Jordan Johnson, you have the floor, sir.
Motion to approve.
All right, there's a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right, we have a second from Commissioner from the 3rd. Madam Clerk, we're voting.
Yes, sir. That motion carries 9-0 with Ms. Scott out.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I think that concludes our business for today for this Wednesday special edition of the Augusta-Richmond County Commission meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great day. This meeting is hereby adjourned.
They know your brother. I'm thinking Kel. Congratulations. I